This is Bible Lesson 32, Part 1, when Peter is rescued. After Jesus rose from the dead, he ascended back into heaven, and that left his followers here on earth to continue sharing the good news about him and about his resurrection from the dead. And many of his followers were really excited because after your friend raises from the dead and all the miracles they had seen, they knew they needed to share this with other people. And Peter had been busy preaching and praying and healing people. In Acts chapter 3, verses 1 through 10, it tells about Peter and John were at the temple at the time of prayer, and there was a man crippled from birth, and he was being carried to the temple by the gate called Beautiful, where he was put every day so that he could beg from those going to the temple courts. When he saw Peter and John about to enter, he asked them for money, and Peter looked straight at him. And as he did, Peter said, "Look at us." So the man gave them his attention, expecting to get something from them. And then Peter said, "Silver and gold I do not have, but what I have I give to you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walk." Taking him by the right hand, he helped him up. And instantly the man's feet and ankles became strong, and he jumped to his feet and he began to walk. The temple courts all over, walking and jumping and praising God. And when the people saw him walking and praising God, they recognized him as a man who used to sit begging at the temple gate called Beautiful, and they were filled with wonder and amazement at what had happened. And so when the word of these things came back to King Herod, they had tried to kill Jesus to put a stop to all this. And here they hadn't stopped anything. It continued to happen because his followers were now doing miracles just like Jesus had. So when they were trying to stop people, sometimes they were arrested. So King Herod arrested Peter, who was one of Jesus' disciples, and put him in prison. And many followers of Jesus began to pray for Peter nonstop. The night before King Herod was going to kill Peter, Peter was chained up with two strong chains between two soldiers. The soldiers were there to stop Peter if he tried to escape. Other soldiers were outside the prison keeping watch. Peter was sleeping when suddenly an angel of the Lord stood near him. The light shone in the prison, and the angel tapped Peter on the side and said, "Hurry, get up." And the chains fell off Peter. The angel told Peter to put on his sandals and his outer clothes and follow him. Peter thought he was seeing a vision, like a dream. He didn't think this was really happening to him. After Peter and the angel passed two guard stations, they came to an iron gate. It was a big, heavy gate that led into the city. And all of a sudden, the gate opened, all by itself. Peter and the angel went out of the prison area and then down one street. Suddenly, the angel was gone, and Peter was by himself. And then Peter realized it was not a vision or a dream. He was really out of prison. It was because the Lord had sent an angel. Peter quickly thought about what to do next. He went to a house where the followers of Jesus had gathered to pray for him. He knocked at an outer door, and a young girl named Rhoda came to answer. When she heard Peter's voice, she was so excited, she forgot to open the door. And then she left Peter waiting at the door so she could tell everyone in the house that he was there. The people inside the house didn't believe her at first, but Peter kept knocking at the door, and finally they let him in. They were surprised. God had answered their prayers in a very amazing way. Boys and girls, I'm going to guess that you've been maybe to a Bible study in your church or with your parents to somebody's home, and maybe there's been a time of prayer and you've prayed for something, and we do expect the prayers to be answered, but when something really exciting like praying for somebody to get out of prison happens and they knock on your door, wouldn't that be exciting? Jesus does answer prayers, not always quite as dramatically as that, but we need to remember that we can bring everything to him in our prayer, because he hears and he answers in the best way for us at the time.